Hey, it's Brandon. Welcome back to video number 3. This video is the nuts and bolts of the entire process. We're going to dive into the worksheet, property tax calculation worksheet, as well as we're going to take a look at 4 quick examples just so you have a really good grasp on how this all works. So we're also then going to be following that up with video number 4 where we can kind of talk about where to go depending upon how things work out. So I have a worksheet for you right below this video. If you're on the website and you have like 3 or 4 videos all lined up, probably under video number 3, you should have access to the worksheet. And what that's going to allow you to do is you can print that off. It's going to allow you to follow right along with the videos and kind of calculate out your own property as you go through it. So, and if you jumped right to this video so you get right to the goods, I understand that. But if you need to go back to video number 2 to talk a little bit more about where to locate things such as the common level ratio, the county assessed value, that'll be back in video number 2. But for right now, we're gonna follow through this worksheet, and then we have the 4 examples. So let me go ahead and switch over here to the worksheet. Okay, so here we are on the property tax calculator worksheet. The CAV is the county assessed value. Again, you get that from your tax document whenever you go to pay your property taxes. You multiply that times the common level ratio, and that's found on the Pennsylvania Department of Revenue website, changes every year. Video number 2 has more details on that. That equals your CCV, your county calculated value. So the county calculated value is largely dependent upon what that assessed value was. And once you have your county calculated value, then it's time for you to make a comparison. And what that comparison is the county calculated value greater than or less than the actual value? So let's suppose that you have you calculated it out and your county calculated value comes in at 300,000. Yet the actual value is only 200,000. So your CCV is greater than your actual value of 200,000, then you may want to consider a property tax appeal. And we'll get into that in video number 4 if that's the route that you're at. And it's large enough that it justifies maybe some possible expenditures to make that happen. Or the other alternative is that if your county calculated value is less than the actual value, then you're paying less than you potentially could be. For example, let's say that you calculate it out, and the county thinks your home is worth 300,000, and you just purchased it for $450,000 6 months ago. Then you might want to consider yourself fortunate because you potentially could be paying significantly more in property taxes. So that's the calculation. Is very quick, simple. And what we're going to do right now is we're going to go ahead and take a look at 4 different examples. 2 of them are going to be where the assessed value is high, 2 of them where the assessed value is low, and just kind of give you an idea of what that looks like. So let's go ahead and take a look at these 4 examples. Okay, so here's the first example, and what I did, I pulled our examples right from Zillow. And they've all sold within the last 30 days. And in order to kind of give some anonymity to the people, so they're not publicly being identified, I kind of whited out the addresses for us. But I can tell you that they're all from the state of Pennsylvania. And in this particular case, actually, they're also from Westmoreland County. So Westmoreland County, Pennsylvania. This one sold October 18th for $135,000. And if you scroll down here, the public tax history, they're showing the assessed value is $67.40. And what we do is we take the assessed value of $67.40, multiply it out times our common level ratio, which again for Westmoreland County at this point in time, it's 10.0. That says that the county calculated value is $67,740. Okay, fairly simple. Then we come down here. 67,740 is less than the sales price, and I'm using the actual value is the sold price. I'm going to assume that these properties that sold were all done at arm's length transactions where it was exposed to the market for the right amount of time in order to generate offers that were acceptable to the seller. Pretty simple. So we have 67 versus 135. So this is a pretty wide margin. So in this particular case, if that's your home, you should probably be feeling pretty blessed because the county thinks that your home's worth $67,000. It's actually worth 135, and the taxes were 803, and they potentially could be up around $1,500, $1,600. So that's example number one. And then let's go ahead and take a look at example number two. Okay, example number two, we have a large brick, really nice 4-bedroom, 5-bath home sold just about less than a week ago, October 26th, for $825,000. This one, let me kind of move this over a little bit. The county, the tax assessment is $60,020. And so I punched that in here to the county assessed value. We have our common level ratio, which is 10.0, comes out to $600,020. So we drop that down here is 600,000 less than 825. In this particular case, it is. And I also I kind of calculated out what the taxes potentially might look like if it was being accurate. So in this case, they're paying 6644 according to the Zillow property tax calculation. Using the factor of what that difference is, it says that the taxes might be about $9,000 per year, which is a considerable savings. So they're saving pretty much like $2,500 per year. Maybe who knows? That's a pretty good ballpark. Now we're going to take a look at two examples where the homeowners may want to consider filing a tax assessment appeal. Let's go ahead and take a look at those. Okay, so in this particular case, this property, it needs some work. Needs a little TLC. You can see on the outside there. It sold October 24th for $22,000, and the tax assessment is $4,580. Now, here's what I want you to know too. So, as an investor, oftentimes you are purchasing properties that are in need of significant renovations, and they may have been worth something at one point in time, and like significantly more. But by the time you get there, maybe there's been some maintenance items that have not been taken care of. You may run into this frequently where the assessed value is off from the actual valuation. But in this particular case, the assessed value is $4,580. The common level ratio, we multiply times 10. The county believes that it's worth about $45,800. And if we come down here, put that into our calculation, we can see that their property taxes, Zillow's showing it was $624 in 2022. Using that exact, the proportions there, 45,800 divided by 22,000. If we move that through, that says that these people's property taxes should probably be about $300 per year. So if you're planning on keeping that property for a significant amount of time, you may potentially want to consider having that reassessed and file an appeal because they are considerably different. And then let's go ahead and take a look at our fourth example. Okay, so here is the fourth example. It's a 5-bedroom, 5-bath, sold October 18th for $405,000, and the county assessed value. Let me slide that over. It's $49,260. So we put the assessed value in here. The common level ratio is 10. Says that the county calculated value is $492,600. Okay, we're going to come back down here. $492,600 is greater than $405,000. So that tells us that these folks could potentially have a savings that they may want to apply for a tax appeal. And let's kind of take a look at it. Zillow's saying that they're paying $67, $61 a year in their property taxes. And if we use these ratios, it looks like it's dropping down maybe just under 20%, maybe about 17, 18%. That comes up with an actual value property tax amount of $55.58. So, and this is where the fourth video is going to come into play. Analyzing, is it worth the time, effort, and potentially the money to get a tax assessment appeal filed? More on that here shortly. Let's go ahead. I hope you enjoyed this video. That's the nuts and bolts along with 4 examples. And hopefully that helps to clear the clouds out on how to know whether you're paying too much, too little on taxes, and how that might be able to affect you as a homeowner and an investor.